That's a great question. I think one of the things that I've learned, especially since some of the George Floyd incident and the protests, I've called a number of my friends who are black and I said, "Hey, when you're ready, can we sit down or just talk on the phone? I want to
Mhm.
hear how you're experiencing this. I want to hear how you're
Yeah.
processing this. I don't want to get into any kind of debate. I
Mm,
just want to understand how you see this because I
mm,
sense that I see it very differently than many people in the black community do, and I don't get it."
sure.
And we sat down, and I'm telling you, we had some
Mm,
powerful conversations
mm,
that actually my son and I sat down with. One of his coaches is black from Long Beach, from Compton,
mhm.
really.
Uh-huh.
And his experience of this was, I mean, I just sat there and I was in tears a couple
Mm,
times at what he had to go through from
mm,
that background as
yeah.
a black man in America. Well, I was only able, once I listen first and I understand, then I'm in a better position to make
Mm,
some connections with the gospel. But
mhm.
if I just jump into any community, I mean, whatever,
Right.
I don't even know what those 70 communities are, and assume I know,
Sure.
here's how you think, here's how you need the gospel, and I don't take the time to understand, it's
Yes.
probably not going to be well received, and it's
Mhm.
probably not going to just, it's probably not going to work. So
Yes.
I think we're back to building relationships, we're back to
Mm.
listening. That
Uh-huh.
doesn't mean you got to spend a decade doing this. We want to
Sure.
share the gospel, but invite
Yes.
people over to dinner, go out for coffee.
Uh-huh.
And what I've learned is a lot of people just want to be heard. And when they
Mm.
feel like they're heard, like my dad shared earlier, it's
Yes.
amazing how many people will reciprocate and go, "Well, tell me your story."
Yes. No, that's fabulous. Um, just mentioned earlier, you mentioned this the importance of relationship and how important it is to be listening to people and spending time listening and getting to know people, and so then we can better understand their world before we jump right into our perspective. So I think that's certainly something we all can learn. See, so since we use a approach called questioning evangelism. I think basically you're talking about that. It's good to ask questions and find out where people are at before we jump into um, things. So that's very helpful.